Hey everyone, so as you can see we got a ton of snow. This was a random little band of lake effect snow that we had gotten caught in the day prior, and we got about 10 inches over the course of a day. It was pretty localized, so if you drove a few miles inland it was all blue skies. The next day wasn't very warm, but it was gorgeous, clear and sunny, so we took advantage of it and we popped over to the boat for a couple hours of work. With no mast or boom, we don't have a way to tarp or shrink wrap anything, so the first order of business was to shovel off the deck.
Inside the boat.
21 whole degrees inside the boat? That's almost balmy compared to the 16 that it was the other day. Without the wind chill.
You ready to go sailing?
No.
Oh.
Take me to the Caribbean, I'll go sailing. Alright, so Philip killed the power, so we don't have any lights in here, but this is the state of the boat. I just cleaned 2 bags of trash out, just little bits and pieces of garbage. Still no floor in it quite yet. And Philip just finished disconnecting all of the batteries and putting them back in his truck because we gotta redo some stuff in this spot. Back in here, all of that wood needs to come out because it's rotten, which is just unfortunate. But this is my beautiful boat work outfit today. I'm still cold, but that's just the way it is.
Alright, so this is plywood. It's encased in fiberglass. There was a fuel fill that was in the center. It leaked. So we have our old fuel fill for our boat, and it wasn't sealed properly, so the core is all rotten right around it. I don't know if there's any other penetrations that caused leakage into this plywood, but this whole plywood is all sopping wet and rotting, and it is what mounts the, you can kind of see them there, the turning blocks for the steering system. So I need to cut it out and replace it. It's just super frustrating. And then I checked inside here, which is another, this is cord, the whole cockpit floor is cord, and that's just balsa and it's all just rotted. So I don't know how I'm going to replace that yet. I am ready when you are.
Alright. Which way is this gonna go?
The ratchet should all be set up.
Okay. In my defense, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey only works when you remember your lefts and rights, and that's real sketchy with me.
Next one.
He came in today for a while and I chatted with him.
Alright, that one's good.
Not only is Philip patient with this particular shortcoming, he also listens to my never-ending, often dramatized, stream of consciousness narration of my day at work.
What did he come in for? Just,
He was just working on his boat again.
Why would he come all the way down here from Traverse City?
I don't know.
Doesn't look very pretty. So this is the plywood I pulled down, and you can see it's very wet. Yeah. And then you can see the dry line, and that was where it came out of the cabin sole, and that was where the turning blocks were for the steering. So it looks looks like big old gap in there. It's gross. I don't know. I just split on a layer of plywood. I have to figure out what's going on. Just trying to scrape all the wood off. This is all fiberglass. So as I scrape out the wood, then I can sand this, and I'll be able to readhere a new panel, and that will give me the strength I need. Heather, can I hand you a couple things? Sure. Through the...
Yep. Got it? Got him? This is so handy. Hold on 1 second. Oh, come on.
What?
I was trying to get a video of that.
Oh.
Carry on. I'm going to take a video. Get it? Got him?
Oh, yeah. Oh, and then... Alright, I think that's most of it. Oh. And those. There we go. You can actually see the plywood pattern on the fiberglass. It peeled off mostly clean, and then I scraped off the rest of it. So I'll have to come through and sand it. That'll probably be tomorrow's task because it's getting late and I'm getting cold. So, and Heather forgot to bring stuff to do when she came to the boat tonight, so she's a little bored. Alright, so this is a template for the steering idlers that I have to fit in. It's got to come out a little bit further, so I've got to notch the edges to come out through the bulkhead, and then this follows the cockpit curve.
Fortunately, we had some leftover plascore chunks, and this one was large enough to make this piece out of. If you haven't heard a multi-tool doing its thing before, it is the most annoying sound I have ever graced my ears with. Unfortunately, it's also one of the most used power tools on Bombadil.
That's where that's gonna go. It'll get glassed in back there and probably into this bulkhead right here. I'd say no.
It's gonna take me a hot minute to extricate
so,
myself.
You want to stop talking over my video?
I've tried.
So this is looking forward in the boat, and this is where the old piece of plywood for the idlers were, and so you can actually see where some of the motion was because it wasn't attached on this back edge. So in probably rough conditions or when it got slammed, it shifted, and so there's some bright spots where it's rubbing. So kind of interesting. Definitely not ideal. So I gotta notch this down a little bit more to create a spot for the new piece to go in. So tonight the goal is to get this piece glassed with 2 layers of 1708 on each side, and that will provide some of the structural like skin surface resistance that I need for the new turning blocks that I'm going to put in. And this is to replace this piece of plywood right here that's rotten. And the reason it looks different is the new turning blocks I bought from Edson are actually about 1 inch taller. So it pushes everything up a little bit in the boat. And so it's no longer at the bottom, like flush with the bottom of the cockpit. It's actually up inside the cavity slightly, which helps some stuff out but makes other stuff more complicated. So that means this is going to get glassed in to the cockpit and to the bulkhead that's right there, and it should be plenty secure. It just changes the thought and design in the process. So it does add a little bit more clearance underneath here because the new like turning block idlers for the steering is a little bit wider this way in the fore and aft direction, and so they actually need to come out through the bulkhead, and so actually the extra height gives me more clearance for bolts to go through, which is kind of a fortunate turn of events. So I've just been working on cutting out the glass I need for this, and then I'm also gonna hopefully have some glass leftover epoxy, and I'll glass up some like 2-inch wide strips, and that'll be part of the floor stuff. So it's February 7th today, and it's 48 degrees outside right now. It's 48 inside on the floor, but the low for tonight is about 39. So I'm gonna have the space heater running till I would say probably about 8 o'clock tonight, and the goal is to just heat the boat and get this close. Tomorrow the high is supposed to be like 52. So between all this stuff, it should have enough like warm weather to actually cure the epoxy, which is kind of unusual for February in Michigan. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to get some fiberglass stuff laid up tonight, and then I might come back and try to do some other stuff tomorrow. So I am wetting out all of the pieces of fiberglass I'm going to use, and then I will go crawl down under the cockpit floor and glass them in, and then I'll come back and fill the gap that's left with some thickened epoxy, that since there's now will be glass underneath it to catch it. Yeah. here is what I glassed up today. So you can see it's glassed on the sides down to the bulkhead, and then it's glassed out to the cockpit sole. So yeah, I think it's mostly cured. Had the space heater running in here for a while. It feels a lot warmer in here than it does inside the boat. Got 2 layers all the way around the perimeter of 1708, which is heavier glass than the original piece that was in here. So I don't think it'll have any structural issues, and it's glassed on the top and bottom, where the original piece of plywood is only glassed on the bottom. So